Welcome to a new episode of this series about the Souls Borne lore and let's say even physics of the worlds of the Souls Borns. And today we speak about the density of souls, and it will be the longest episode by now because we are getting close to the ending. So I'm condensing a lot of topics in one only title. So today we speak about the different states of the soul in the Souls Borne series. In particular, I want to start with the logic of the world in each of the games of Miyazaki. So we have the demon soul, of course, in which there is a god that the first day give to the humans the souls. The human receive the souls, they use them to think because that's clarity, and they use it for souls arts after till the moment in which the god decide to withdraw his own souls and send the demons to take the souls from the humans. And the demons have the particular characteristic to have more souls of a normal being, and then they are able to control the souls, and they are even able to take the souls from the humans, from other beings. So I want to point out that the talisman of beasts description tell us that the image of the god is the image of the beast under the nexus. So we know that he is both the one that that gives the souls and the one that take the souls. So this scheme I think is quite clear. And then we have a similar scheme in Bloodborne, in which this time the one who gives the souls in form of blood and the one that take back the souls still in form of blood are two different entities. So there is the Ebraitas, from which is taken the blood by the humans. The humans become beasts, and then the moon presence send his own demons, that are the hunters, to take the souls, the blood, from humans and bring it back to her. So here we have exactly the same plot of demon souls, but this time with the old one divide in two beings, one full of souls and one thirsty thirsty of souls, and then let's try to take them back. So after finally we have Dark Souls, in which the fire get originated by it seems nothing, but can be whatever, we don't know, and it is taken by the gods, by the four lords, but one of these is it even represent the lord which take the soul that represent the old one. So and he will do exactly the part that part of the old one that is represented by the moon presence. So while the other three souls represent like the soul of Ebraitas, on the other side we have the soul of that represent the part of the old one that withdraw the souls back. We will explain later why the moon presence is the dark souls and the Ebraitas is the soul. So the souls are given to the gods. The gods have the souls and use them with their knowledge, science, technology, and they build cities. Then the dark soul that has been taken by the pygmy, he will it spread in different parts, and we can say, or we can consider the pygmy the dark part of the old one, or we can consider each of the fragment of that soul to be that part of the old one. So each one, we can say that each one of these dark souls use their own demons to to withdraw the souls from the gods. So, according to this theory, the only one that is able to absorb in the way we see in all 3 video games of Dark Souls, the souls are the beings that actually have in their body the Dark Souls. So the Dark Souls help you to take the souls of other dead beings. So we have, as I was saying, the 3 beings that take back the souls from the humans. So here I did a little game in which in Demon Souls we find the old one is a bottomless pit of nothingness with insatiable appetite for the souls collected by its faithful demons. This is the description of the monumental. Now we try to apply it to the other creatures in the other games. The humanity is a bottomless pit of nothingness. It came out bad. The humanity is a bottomless pit of nothingness with an insatiable appetite for souls collected by its faithful undeads. So we can consider the undeads as the slaves of the humanities. The moon presence is a bottomless pit of nothingness with insatiable appetite for the blood collected by its faithful hunters. This works very good. And okay, let's go on. So here we find even the servant of each one. The demons, the humans, and the hunters as servants of the gods. With a part on the top. Then we find that each one of them take a different kind of soul. I mean, the first 2 quite similar kind of soul, while the third, the soul in form of blood. And they take them. And these souls have been originated in the first case always from the old one. The second case by this fire that started the life, the first flame, and in the third case by the body of another kind of old one, Eberitas. So the reason why I'm quite confident to give the Dark Souls as symbol of the moon presence and the soul to the white soul to Ebrightus is the different symbology that these 2 creatures represent. The moon presence, even from the name, comes from the symbology of the moon and the darkness that we've seen till now, while the Ebrightus, she has the opposite symbol of the sun. Indeed, she has the sunflowers in front of the arena where we meet her. I say her because I don't know, it's just my feeling. So we can consider the moon presence as the moon and the Ebrightus as the sun, so as the darkness and the fire that are symbols that repeat quite often in all the Souls Borne series. So I want to try to give a meaning to all this. The old one can be divided as Jesus Christ, because which video game is a video game without some reference to Christian religion? The blood and the body. So if we want to divide these 2 things, the Dark soul would be the body of the old one, and the blood would be the soul. Indeed, Ebrightus is full of blood, that even from her name we can say that it's something full of something, so of the blood. And this blood then reach the body, that is the body of the moon presence. That it is even designed a little like the gaping dragon, that is known to be someone that wants something, that is I don't know the English terms, avarice maybe. and so the symbology is quite clear. And considering the ability of the souls to create the wood around the obscurity, we always find that growing the wood, even from man and even from the dark science itself. So we can use the metaphor of fertilizer and the wood and the plants. So the white soul is like the nourishment for the dark souls to grow and eventually maybe becomes again the old one from the beginning, or simply becoming a dragon, as we see in the next slide. So now a little of description that help us to recognize the dark souls with the old one. So the sorcery of Manus says, Father of the Abyss, grant a fleeting will to the dark of humanity, and volley the result. The will feels envy, or perhaps love, and despite the inevitably trite and tragic ending, the will sees not alternative, and is driven madly towards its target. So here we could take, sorry for the awful reading, but we can consider the last for okay, these dark souls, they go against their targets. The targets usually is a living being. So the living being is something that attracts the dark souls in the same way in which the old one is attracted by the souls as well. Yeah, my English is tired. So we find the souls seeking for the target. Then we have King Alland saying at the end of Demon Soul, should do seek everlasting demon souls, or obey the naive monumental. Here he refer to the two different endings that we can have. So it's explained that the souls that are still inside the old one, he called them everlasting demon souls. It means that the demons are everlasting, as the dragon are everlasting, and the true nature of man, that is only distinguished by other creature by having the dark souls inside, is the one of becoming an everlasting dragon. So here we find a very strong connection. Then in the shrine of Amana, of which we speak before, has a very important location. We find the Milfanito that, as we said, sing to calm down, to relieve the little ones. And we know that the old one come from a symbology of creature that are all kept asleep or calm in general by the music. So when she said the little one here, in my interpretation, even if we read here the sentence, can be recognized in the dark souls. So the dark souls are the little one that feel relieved with the singing of these women, and so it was taught to them. So even if in dark souls the humanity basically evaporated in wood, probably they have been taught by the beginning of times, even from their language, that's what they have to do to calm the dark souls. And maybe the demon of singing, he sing to make people with dark souls come to him and let them be eaten. So even here we can recognize that the dark soul is basically the essence, the inner essence of the old one. So we have even other description: the deep soul which dwell from the deep, pursue their target, drawn towards life. Even here we have the beginning of another theory that I think I had a slide to explain this theory, but probably it is later. And is the one that the soul behave as the souls, when they get a great quantity of souls get together in one soul, it behave as a black hole. So the black hole collapse in himself and become from an enlightened star, it will become a dark black hole. So here we have some description about the density of the soul and how it can transform it in a black dark soul. Archdeacon MacDonald, a sorcerer himself, delighted in the cathedral stagnating souls. For him, they represented the glorious bedrock of this world. So I don't want to stop too much on this. This is like more subconscious feeling I have that this has even a meaning about how the soul can be something physical. And about this we have even other proofs. For example, this one, the dark bed, abyss sorcery discovered by Olasil sorcerer on the brink of madness. 5 successive dark orbs. In contrast to standard soul sorceries, abyss sorceries are weighty and inflict physical damage. Perhaps a human soul is closer to the matter in its humanity. So even here we find that the density, the quantity of soul may have a connection with this matter appearance of the dark soul. So yeah, I spoiled a little of this video a little before. So we find the quantity of souls that go up, for example, already in demon souls between man and demon. The demon is a cluster of soul, and then all the demons bring their soul to the old one, that is the massive cluster of soul that has Azathoth in H.P. Lovecraft is the black hole and the center of the universe. So we can consider the old one as a representation of this black hole in the center of the universe, and we can even have a physical explanation for this, because as for Azathoth, it is the black hole inside of in the middle of the universe. We can come back to the theory of the creation of the universe that physics suggests in some theories. Indeed, that the black hole, so the old one, exploded or gave the souls in the beginning of times, and the universe, according to the physics that anyway H.P. Lovecraft was amateur student of physics, so probably Azathoth is represents this kind of metaphor. The black hole, the Big Bang in the beginning of the universe, is this black hole that explodes and gives life to all the universe, or at least on the Earth. And then this the universe come back in the many theories. The universe, after expanding as much as it can, it will come back to one little tiny space, and maybe this will happen again and again, as it happened with the deities that we studied before. And so it's a story of expansion and life and death and contraction of the universe. And this can be the metaphor of the old one that before give the souls and then collapse on himself and look for these souls and take them back and destroy again whatever he created. Has Azathoth, has Mana Yud Sushai, and has the Slumbering Dragon. No, the Slumbering Dragon is a little different, but we understood each other. So now let's remember this double black hole, and we go to this that are the one of the important part of my theory, and is that, as we said, that the humanity represent this old one, and so they represent this black hole, and they are even shown in couple of two, as even the black hole can be a binary black hole. So maybe this can be a reference to the black holes. And so the whole theory, in part, is based on the consideration that the dark souls are simply this concentration of souls, and that they are basically the same thing as the souls. And from this theory, it comes another wider theory that explains how all the souls, as we mentioned even in other videos, may be the matter that is part of all the world and all the universe. So everything is made by souls, and only at a different level of concentration. For example, I remind another time Atem, the god of Egyptian, that not only create the world and then destroy it, but when he created the world, he created from his soul, and everything comes directly from his soul, from the rocks, the trees, the people, and what is inside the people. So about this theory of the density, we find, for example, the soul of the fire keeper, that says reinforced as is a task, is a purpose is to reinforce the S2's flask, capture denser S2. Reinforced S2's flask capture denser S2's, allowing for increased restoration of HP. So we have a first mention of the density about soul. Denser flame give more HP. So denser souls give more HP. Then we have the Houston, that is a stone that condensate inside of it the souls of the people that die in a duel. And it's interesting, the second part of the description that says the victor stone thirst for the souls of fallen warriors, condensed within Houston, as if they were once part of the wall. So the soul have this kind of memory inside that tell them that they are basically the same thing. They come from the same place. So this is not only a connection between, something that speak about density and different state of the soul that can even become rock at this point, but is even mentioned to the old one that was the one that had all the souls once, or if we want, even Ebraitas. But we still didn't speak about the timeline of the of my Souls Borne lore. Then there is the Bloodstone stone, that is still a stone made by blood in Bloodborne, and it says how after death the substance become stronger and create these crystals, and the blood created this stone that is made by blood, and then the blood, we said that in Bloodborne is the material that transport the souls, and then here explain how the blood can become a stone. Of course, from here you should even assume that Titanite, that has the same task of bloodstones, are condensed souls as well. So I wanted to come back to this thing that I didn't want to put in the middle of the explanation before, because it would cut a little my explanation, so I can put it now. So we would have here, I want to show here how the Dark Souls should have been developing if Gwyn would not have such a great idea to bring back the flame again. So the souls are given to the gods, and the undeads, with their humanities, take the souls of the gods, and having no one to give their souls to at this point, so not having the old one, but behaving as demons that search for souls. Once they get these souls become the feeding for their own humanities, for the old one that is inside each of them. Then the transformation in old one somehow, this is not clear part, transform them, let's say, make them create wood around their bodies, and make them become, in the long time, make it become as dragons, transform them as dragons. And so we can see that the true nature of the human is become dragon, as we said other times, as Aldia suggests to us in Dark Souls 2. And probably it's the dark sign that stopped the humans from feeding their dark souls with their souls. Indeed, we have the symbol of the dark, the symbol of the curse of the undead, that according to my interpretation is something that is around the dark soul and stop it from receiving the feeding of the souls. In Italy, we say it make burned heart around it. So when someone has been cutted away by all the connection with other people, for example, with the world, he has made burned earth around it. In this way, he cannot be rich. It's some kind of difficult speculation, but you can think if to agree with this part or not. And then their humanity seems to be born from the inside, and or their soul are born, we don't know, and they are driven mad in the time. With the time, they are driven mad. Okay, so this change of direction it gives them again a place where to bring the souls, because there is not the old one. Then their nature tells them that they should bring the souls somewhere. So the path of white gives them, with the legend of the chosen undead, the Firelink Shrine has a place where to bring all their souls and give them to the flame that maybe is the primordial flame, that maybe is the closer things that there is to the old one, because indeed it contains the bones, so emanation of the dark souls, the bones of the undeads, and the flame of the souls, so a mix of these two elements. Okay, just to explain better this aspect. And now here we can find different level of condensation of the souls. Of course, we could put here all the other things that exist in Dark Souls, as the body of the people, the meat, and the I don't know, the trees and whatever. But here I focus mainly on the level of power that these things can give you. So the souls can give you a great power in terms of making you grow up as Gwyn, that is tall 2 meters, or having some strength inside of you. Then we arrive to another level of density, that is the one of the humanity, I guess. I'm not sure if probably the humanity is something from another dimension, so we cannot give them a density. But I put it here because they look a little like souls. Estus flask with a dense flame inside, and the petrification of souls in the stones from Dark Souls 2 and even some of Dark Souls 1. So all these objects on different levels gives HP to the player, and so they are accumulated. They have the same function. Till another level of density that is in the end the one of the stones. So apart the double stone that doesn't give us life, but the scale of dragon, this is titanite, but for me they are the same. The scale of the dragon or the crystal, that basically are the same souls but organized in a different way, as the diamond is a perfect way in which the carbon is organized. They are both something that not only give you life when you use it, but it's something that gives you infinite light, that is everlasting sign of light for the owner. That's why the skyless dragon is in Hebrew in Vi and Vi to the scale of the other dragons, and he creates his own scale that is made in a scientific way. It's like the normal dragon it's like the people finding natural diamonds, while the scaleless dragon is a dragon that build his diamond in the laboratory. So I guess that is more pure somehow. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share about the density of and how it changed the way of the behavior of the same material, that is the one of the souls. And I'm thinking if there is something else I want to say. That probably who can become a dragon is who has enough souls, and that is both souls and humanity, because that's the nature of the old one. He's not only the black hole, but he's even what is around the black hole and what he gives to the humans in the first place. So the old one is made of two parts. So the undead cannot become an old one only with the humanity, but he needs the souls. And when a dragon become a dragon, he will have roots and wood around him, because that is the manifestation of the soul, while his scale and his armor and the horns and the black appearance, that is a manifestation of his dark soul and its solidification in something of everlasting as a dragon. So we can even assume that the effigy from Dark Souls 2 are the totally consumption of the Dark Souls that have evaporated, as even black holes can do through radiation, have evaporated, consuming all the souls inside the black hole of the Dark Soul, and that is the emanation the wood around, as a dragon do, as the wood around a dragon. So in the next episode we will have the first part of the final episode, in which we will speak about the moon presence and which part does she have in all this. Bye bye.